We're live on LinkedIn and YouTube.
All right, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're a few minutes away from starting episode 35, so thanks for joining us. And today's Flow Friday session, we're going to have a look at an objection handling framework. So welcome everyone as you join in. We're a few minutes from starting, although we're live. Chris, I owe you some homework. I have not forgotten you, my brother. I'm going to jump onto it straight after this call. And so thank you for your patience. Welcome, everybody, as you're joining in for today's episode 35. Wow. Today, coming to you from Bali, Indonesia. Next week, we'll be from Dubai. So, as follow Matt's journey around the world. We're getting hands-on today. We're going to go straight into it. I'm doing a build today. But while we're waiting, as always, things are moving fast in the world of AI. And we've got some the exciting news is just going to keep rolling out week after week as we start to see both product updates. Deputy is getting close to being ready. Actually, I've got a fun video from last night on our new installable agent that I will play while we wait for our official start for today. It'll keep us entertained. Here's a little video from last night. Let me get this one ready. Check this out. This is fun.
Delegate to your deputy. I can't believe this is free. You can download now a computer use AI agent. I need to go to Dubai, so I'm going to get this AI agent to go and search the internet and find me the best airfares, and then I'm going to get it to book my flight ticket afterwards. It's actually opened up the browser, so I can go off and do some other work now. I'm actually writing my new book. So what about this title? Untangling the AI Overwhelm, the missing handbook for SMEs to scale and exceed with AI agents and automation. Now here it is, check it out. It's gone off to cheap flights. It's actually searching, it's using the browser. Hands-free, look, I've got two hands. And I can just keep going and doing my work while Deputy does this work for me. Amazing. And it doesn't cost anything, zip, zero, nothing. You don't need to pay $200 per month to OpenAI. You don't need to be in the US. You can use this in any country. Deputy is going to do your work for you. Now it is free for single users. So jump on and check it out. And it also has 3 language models, open source language models that are downloaded. So you got free AI inference to use on your computer. It doesn't cost anything. It's totally amazing. It's so cool. Make sure you go over to Get Deputy AI and register for the early access and join the waitlist. It's coming out in the next week or two. This stuff is wild. Look, it's found the best airfares, the trip, and wow, there's pretty good prices for this late moment. Hey,
we're in testing now with Deputy, so we're pretty close to being live. There is the URL in the chat. So if you haven't registered already for Get Deputy, head on over there. Computer use, amazing. It'll be version 1 as we come out, and then we'll get into the really exciting components for release that will allow you to set up tasks to be executed by Deputy. So you can be really specific. They'll essentially come from Raya around like prompt templates that will be like your standard operating procedures to help you execute upon those particular. Song is playing. I'm not sure where the song's coming from. Thanks, Ezio. It's not from my end. To be able to execute really effectively your computer use with Deputy. So Deputy is free for single users, and then later we'll release a business edition, which will be for team members. And excited to be able to bring computer use that's only really accessible through companies like OpenAI, but only in the United States. We'll be able to bring it to every country in the world. So really big well done to the team that's making that happen. That's going on. Plus, we're pretty close to finishing our new book, which is unleashing the AI overwhelm, or untangling the AI overwhelm, I should say. Keep thinking about unleashing talent. And it's really is the missing handbook for SMEs. And the framework that we've put together to just make this easier to find your journey. I'm going to quickly share the framework so you've got some insights for it. And here it is. We're going to cover how to actually get to that real sweet spot with AI, where we really desire to get the action happening in an organization. And we've certainly learned a lot as we're applying AI in our own organization, apart from just building the amazing tools. But getting to that AI sweet spot, what businesses really desire is to have these measurable business results. You've got to get the results. It isn't just about the next bright, shiny object, but delivering upon the goals. To get there, we understand that you really need to have active employee engagement, because applying AI and AI agents isn't about replacing team members. It's about augmenting their work for accelerated results. It's really critical then that we've got fit for purpose systems inside the organization for both the team members so they can scale in the work that they're doing, as well as the AI can actually read it and execute well. Now, to do all this, it's radically important that we've got up-to-date skilled workforce, so that people have got the knowledge, they've got the mindset, the skill set, and the tool sets to actually help them exceed in their roles. Now, within the book, it'll cover 4 areas: strategy, execution, people, and technology. And then each of the chapters in the book will cover this outer layers. So in the strategy area, we'll cover an AI agility check. And there's a new tool there that allows you to actually do your assessment on the level of agility for an organization, where you're at today. And don't worry if your scores are low, because it's pretty normal. And then you'll be able to retake that as you progress forward on your digital transformation. Also share a concept, a game to play called Kill Your Company. It's about, and this was inspired from Vern Harnish, around, you got to stop every 12 months, or I think every 6 months now, and say, if we were to go into competition with ourselves, how would we take ourselves out? And you actually do a strategic activity there. There is a PowerPoint presentation, a facilitator's guide, AI agents to support that whole process, and all comes with the book. There's the AI strategic and execution roadmap workshop as well. Same thing. There's a facilitator's guide, PowerPoint presentation. There'll be a video around that one. There's like email templates, communication templates to send out. Then we share the HTC campaign. That's the High Trust Communication campaign. And this comes from the 13 behaviors of trust. And once again, whole range of templates available in the book to support that as well. We then go on to talk about the people side and having an AI-powered people team, and actually developing an innovators culture within the organization. And this is where we create a culture where it's actually safe to take risks. So we talk a lot about the psychology and the biology and the neuroscience in this section here. And then we move on to developing critical thinking, because this, using AI isn't like a magic button and everything automatically gets done. It's actually about continuously improving and looking at where the challenges are in delivering upon your goals in an organization, and developing a process around critical thinking to really unleash the potential of everyone. Then we move into upskilling and some new resources available, which will all be delivered through Multiply Academy. And then access to talent. So, types of talent that we need are the Chief AI Officer, consultants, AI automation integration consultants. That's the key zone, right? To help you decide where you're going to integrate in the organization, as well as AI automation integration engineers. And we've got position descriptions. So if you're hiring for those roles, to make it easy for you. And also, of course, access to talent. We can help with these roles through Go Team and multiplai.tech. We then go into the technology side of things, and it's important to look at doing a review or an audit over your data. Where is actually all the information stored? Because the AI is going to need to access that. And then a SaaS audit as well. What are your software tools that you're using? Are they SaaS? Are they not? Do they have APIs? Do they not? And we've got a tool for both of those also available to use to do those audits to make it easy. And then we go deep into AI agents and automation integration, naturally making sure that you've got a foundation tool like Rhea to be able to support you in that. And then we jump into a whole use case library with examples, as well as not just agents and workflows, but the new advanced automations area as well. So you can start to get into the really big meaty stuff, which I know we've been waiting for a while to get the automation section out, and just been focusing on the book now. So you've got a good foundation. And then we close this out with the execution side, because we've got to get it done. And process mapping and documentation is such a key part of the digital transformation and using AI agents and automation, because without the clarity of the end in mind, all you end up doing is jumping off in different directions. And it's fun, and it's, you know, it gets some great new ideas, but you really want a clear roadmap there that's based upon understanding first the current state of processes in the organization, and then the future state of what it will look like when you bring in agents and automation. And with that, it allows you to move forward and do your build. We're also introducing a new concept of the AI command room, which has two sections to it. The first section is really about planning, so that you've got all your different digital transformation projects clearly planned out, and that you've got a backlog of all the other exciting and amazing ideas as well. And then the second phase is the run phase when it comes to the AI command room. And that's when, as a future state, when you've got hundreds of AI agents supporting your team members, the teams, and the overall business. And those agents are then in the automation workflows, is that you want to have transparency over the progress on those. And so that's sort of starting to shine the light on a new tool view that we'll have coming around your AI command room. For now, though, the starting point is just getting your project management, the plan side, up and running. Then you'll see OKRX there, objectives and key results. And this has two really important games to play with OKRX. One is around tracking the implementation of your digital transformation. And then the second is looking at those X factors and scoreboarding and creating the winnable game around execution and delivering results. And what we've got coming is the ability to connect AI agents, workflows, and automations into the X factors, so that we can have team members going from strategy to execution, not in that sort of wild tangle format, but actually in straight line delivery. So you can go with new idea, craft the AI agents and the automations to support the execution of the work, and then track it. Because as James Clear from Atomic Habits says, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So in this new world of getting to your AI sweet spot, it really is about designing the changes in the organization and using AI and automation to help you execute and deliver the results. And then the Triple E framework, we'll have seen this one in an earlier session. So this covers discover, design, deliver, educate, execute, evaluate. And so that you've got a clear framework for actually rolling out the digital transformations. All this together brings the framework to get to this AI sweet spot. And it really uncovers it's a framework. It's like a map, right? But the framework because there'll be times where you're investing in different areas. It is not always linear. But because it's continuous improvement, you're looking for zones in the organization to always enhance. And this will allow you to look at what do we need to do next, and where do we need to go, and give you the tools and support and resources to really fly at it. This has been, years and years and years in the making to get to this point. So we think you'll enjoy it, and we'll certainly get advanced access to all of our Flow Friday members. But this is very close to getting published. All right, today we're getting hands-on. We're getting hands-on into the concept of handling objections. because when you're doing digital transformations, the reality is whether it doesn't matter what it is, whatever you're selling, there's always going to be some sort of pushback at some point in time. And so there's a great framework from this is adapted from some work by Mahan Coulson in the book Let's Get Real or Let's Not Play, the transforming the buyer-seller relationship. Now, I think by now, let's make sure everyone's got that link to the worksheet. I'll just check out chat where everyone's at. So the worksheet, cool. Joke saying, where is this being published? So will it essentially self-publish initially? And then this one actually, I think, is worthy of getting to like a Wiley Publishing or someone similar. We've actually, if you've been keeping up to date with us as we work with education institutes, we had another university sign up 2 days ago to take our content into their curriculum. I wasn't even aware of this one. So well done to the team, Nina and the team who university reached out to us and said, can we please get on board as well? So I expect to see this book or a version becoming part of textbook curriculum as well at uni, which is really exciting stuff. Okay, so handling objections. Today's session, we're going to cover the challenge, create an agent, create a prompt template, create a workflow, run the workflow, and then I'm going to share some additional ideas with you as well. Now, here's the challenge. Please get yourself nicely set up. So if you've got the two screens, it's the best setup. Put me on one side, and on your other screen, open up Raya and our worksheet for today. Now, whenever you're selling a product or service, or you're just getting an idea across the line inside an organization, you're going to get pushback. You're going to get objections. And these are not a bad thing. Often what happens is we want no objections. But actually, objections are excellent. It means people are thinking critically. They're thinking about their situation. And I firmly believe the mindset to take on, and this is the innovator's mindset here, is that any type of pushback you get is actually giving you data to then be able to further innovate your product, your service, or your messaging. And so, but where the challenge really lies is that if we don't have the skill set, the mindset, the skill set, and the tool set to handle objections, then they can feel really uncomfortable and awkward because, you know, as human beings, we're emotional beings. We have feelings, and we want everything to be right and perfect. And nothing is perfect about being a human being. It's always messy. So, but once we've got a framework, this all becomes a lot easier. So let me explain the yellow light objection handling framework and why it's so powerful. I'm going to zoom in here, and you can see some of the training that we use at Go Team and MultiPlai.tech. The yellow light objection handling process has 3 steps to it: acknowledge, articulate, and ask. But if we just pause for a moment on those traffic lights and think about if you're driving down the road and you're in a car or on your motorbike and you see the green light ahead, what do you do? Not a trick question. Put it in the chat. If you're driving ahead down the road and you see a green light, what do you do? Put it in the chat. Not a trick question. You're going to win at this one. You go. Yeah. Just keep going, right? Okay. Now you're driving down the road, coming towards the traffic lights, and they go from green to yellow. What do you do? Honestly, what do you do? Yeah, go faster, speed up. Exactly right. That's the reality, right? We really do. The lights are green, we're driving along, you know, everything's clear. We see the yellow light and we go faster. And that's normal. Now, if we see the red light, we know what to do. We've got to stop. But this is such a great analogy for when we're having a conversation with others, is that the moment there's an objection, there's an emotion tied to it and it feels uncomfortable. And it's not a red light in that the conversation is going to end or we're not going to be able to find a way forward. But because it gets a bit uncomfortable, we tend to speed up and move past that objection or concern and just continue to try and talk and share, you know, our approach. But what happens from a physiological perspective is that if we look at the brain. We have this saying at work that everyone deserves to feel safe. And this is because if we look at the brain, we could actually split it into 3 areas. The amygdala, which is our reptilian brain, which is the fight, flight, or freeze response. That's where people feel really unsafe. There's the mammalian brain. This is where our emotion is done. Things like love, lust, desire, joy, happiness, elation, excitement, doubt, worry, concern, anger, regret. All these types of complex emotions and feelings that we have as human beings. And then there's the human or cognitive brain, which is where we do our analytical thinking, our Spock brain, Dr. Spock brain, things like logic and maths and what to do and evaluation and very, high load can happen on the brain in this zone. But here's the interesting thing. Because we are emotional beings, if our emotions get high, our ability to do the cognitive reasoning reduces very rapidly. It's almost like a shutter door comes down and stops us from thinking clearly. And consider it. If you've ever been in a more heated conversation with a loved one and you try and go for logic, how does that go? Normally goes south, right? To fight or flight. And so the key is to pause, slow down in this yellow zone and actually acknowledge how the person is feeling and what they're thinking in order to have the person seen and heard. When words are used to articulate how they're feeling and what they're thinking, it actually helps them process those thoughts and emotions and opens them back up to the logical human brain to actually consider a new path forward. Now, there's a very important, and so I would say within this, the key is that we as the communicator to be in control of the situation is to take responsibility, accountability, and ownership for our thoughts, feelings, and actions, so that we don't go into a reactive phase of blame, excuse, denial, or quit. It's like, oh, they don't understand, they don't get it, right? Rather, it's like, oh, inquisitively, oh, it seems like, hang on a moment, I think we might need something. There's something here that needs to be addressed. And so the 3-step process in it is acknowledge, articulate, ask. So acknowledge means to slow down, acknowledge and reflect what the person has said, and if appropriate, how they feel. Now, in a business sense, you may not go so much into feeling, but in a personal environment, feelings are really important. Then articulate, express your understanding of the situation and present a strategy or way forward that adds benefit to the other party and is a win-win solution. And then this step often gets missed. It's the ask. Then ask them how would they like to proceed based on the new information. So it can be examples like, based on this, what are your thoughts after hearing this information? What are you now thinking? And the key is to understand any other objections before moving forward and giving the power to the other party in the communication. When you're using yellow light communication in this framework, it's quite common that if we're thinking about it structurally and we're focused on the structure, if we use the approach and then the other party has an objection, at first we might feel like we've failed because it didn't work. This doesn't work. But actually what's happened is that in that process of communication, either we didn't understand them fully and we need to go back through the process again, or they were not able to articulate exactly where they're at. And so we need to go through the process again until we get to a point where we can move forward. Or you might find that, from a sales perspective, quite simply, the product is too expensive and there's no way they can move forward. And that's okay too, right? So it's better to get to a no faster than going on to long sales presentations where there's no win-win outcome for everyone. And so what I've found in this process is that we can have the content of the structure of acknowledge, articulate, ask, but it's not until we get the context of actually trying it and playing with it that we build our confidence to a point where this comes naturally. Now, this is where AI is so powerful to help us, because we could go away to a training session on something like this and get all inspired. And then tomorrow we go to apply it and we're like, oh, I can't quite remember it. I'm a bit stuck. And you don't have a guide or consultant to help you work through a very specific challenge that you're dealing with. So in today's session, we're going to use AI to help us have a structured format that we can go back to on a regular basis. Oh, by the way, here are some feelings, and I'll zoom in a little bit more. You'll be able to see it in your worksheet as well. But there's quite a lot, right? These come from the work from Marshall Rosenberg on nonviolent communication, where he talks about when feelings that we have when our needs are not met. And there's a lot there, right? There's a lot to consider. And when we increase our vocabulary around these, it allows us to be even more aware of how others might be feeling. And that is the process of active listening. Okay, let's get into the technical stuff. We're going to build out a yellow light objection handling expert as our first agent. Then we'll form a prompt template so we can get the key information in for that, for whatever the scenario is. And then from there, we'll design a workflow. Then the workflow is going to have the template in it. It's going to have a script example as if we're live in person. And then we'll also have an email example in that workflow as well. So you can go back to it. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you a couple of other advanced ideas as well. So let's get started in part one. So let's make sure we've got Raya open. And we're going to start by building a new agent. So navigate to the agent section up the top and select build new agent. This will take us to our agent builder area. And we're going to start first by entering in the name of the agent. As always, we like to use a very functional name, so we can copy the purple text and paste it over into the agent area. So yellow light objection handling expert is what we're putting in here. Now, for today in our resources, we've also got a JPEG here. Now, you actually probably don't need to use it. We can use it later. You could put the traffic light icon in here, or if you want to go custom, you can select the traffic light JPEG that we've added in for today's session as well. Cool, we'll add that one in. Now, category-wise, quite often this is going to be in sales, this zone. So you can put in sales. You can put in some more categories if you like as well. They don't impact how the agent is created. They're just helping you to filter and find the agent later. Okay, the next step, now that we've selected the avatar and we've got our categories in place, is to generate the goal statement. So let's click on generate to generate the goal statement for this agent. And read through that. If you're happy with what's there, then you can move forward. That's pretty good. I like it, actually. We'll then move on to the backstory, which defines the agent's performance and historical background and how they should execute the task. Let's select generate. We've got 5 years experience. Hey, maybe you want 10 years experience. Let's get really expert. And then the next area is the base instructions. So let's select generate for base instructions. And it's looking pretty good. It's pretty good. But what we want to do is get a little bit more specific now. So let's add in this purple text that I've got here to the base instructions, and we'll paste that in. So I put in how to respond. Always use the 3-step process: acknowledge, articulate, and ask. And you'll see that these are the words that I had on that PowerPoint presentation from before, or that screen, so that we can get specific. So here's a great example of when you've got a framework that is specific for the use in your business, you might find that the AI doesn't generate that extra detail. It could be that the framework is specific to your organization and you've designed it, so it doesn't live in a large language model, or that you might have got some knowledge from a book and you're starting to bring the synthesis of these ideas together. And so therefore, it's important that your agents are really specific around the work that you do in your organization. Now, the The concept of frameworks, you may have seen me bring up in this model in an earlier session, in that when we're designing our organizations for the full digital transformation, to get the big wins, it's important in an organization that we've got our vision and our mission and purpose and values, but also overarching frameworks that are going to help us to deliver upon the way we actually work in an organization. And so this yellow light approach to objection handling, it's not a process, it's not a procedure, but it's actually something deeper. It's the foundational learning that's beneficial in an organization. And that's why we put overarching frameworks right up the top here before we get into strategy, goals, systems, processes, procedures, and steps. Right, with that in place, we keep scrolling down. We're going to add the tone of voice of professional. And from a personality profile, let's select influential. Then at this point, we can create the agent. So scroll to the top of the screen and select create agent. And a couple of pro tips here. So as you heard me say earlier, it's really important to have a functional name so that the AI writes that goal statement, backstory, and base instructions. And then pro tip number 2 for this morning is to say that when you've got your, if this is specifically around products and services, you just go to that. I think you're telling my 6-year-old coming to join the session. You could have all your products, services, features, and benefits all added into the knowledge base for this particular agent if you're going to use it from a sales perspective, or let's say within the digital transformation in your own organization, your plan for all the items that you're thinking of putting in place could go into the knowledge base as well. Very powerful then to have your planning for digital transformation being kept in locations like the Source Wiki or OneBrain, where it can continually be updated with the information of what's going on, so that when objections occur, this agent will continuously be getting smarter around the most recent and relevant information. Okay, let's now publish the agent by selecting Publish up the top of the screen and then clicking Publish. Now for part 2 today, we're going to go to the prompt template section. So at the top of the screen, select Prompts and then Build New Prompt. And in your worksheet, you'll see a completed version of what we're doing today. And then as we scroll down, we'll see the purple writing that we're going to copy and paste. We'll start by putting the objection handling yellow light framework into the name section. So copy and paste that into the name. And then in the description area, what the prompt template is about is to use the yellow light 3-step approach to overcome objections with acknowledge, articulate, and ask. It's our little reminder about what we're doing here. Now, in this next area, I've put a table today. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variables to input. The first one is a text area. Second is input, and then 3 more text areas. So to add the variable of text area, click on the text area button, and you'll notice that it has presented to us the field of text area, the label where it says describe, and the placeholder, what's this field. So we're going to take the content for this first item here under the label describe their objection and paste that into the text area. You'll notice that the button has now appeared, describe their objection. That's the variable that we'll later put into the prompt, in the prompt template. And over on the right-hand side, we've got the form is now being built out. Describe their objection has displayed. And then it says, what's this field? That's the placeholder in this section here. So we're going to go over to our table and we'll copy in what's their objection and paste it into the placeholder field. Now that has appeared as the placeholder in our no-code prompt template builder view. And we can go on to the next item, which is input. So let's select input And we'll notice that we've got a new variable line has appeared, and we will copy, how do you think they may be feeling? Paste that in here, and then going to take the placeholder. How do you think they feel? So that the placeholder there is prompting you to complete that. And then we've got 3 text areas to add. So the first one, next one, text area, and copy strategy, solution, or way forward. Then the placeholder, what do you think is the solution or way forward? Then we're going to add another text area. And this one, next one says, describe any other context about the situation as to how we got to this objection. And the placeholder can quite simply say any other context. And now we'll add the final text area, which is describe the ultimate outcome of the situation. And then the placeholder, what would be the ultimate outcome of the situation. So now the form itself has been built. Now what we need to do is build the underlying prompt itself. So essentially what a prompt template does is gives you an amazing prompt, but with variables. So you don't have to keep writing that prompt again in the future. You can just add the variables in, and it's going to inject the answers into the prompt itself. Now, as you scroll down the worksheet, you'll see that I've got this all in purple. We can copy and paste this entire amount in, copy it and paste it in. And this is sort of the quick way of doing it. You'll notice here it says, okay, please assist in writing an objection handling response using the yellow light framework of acknowledge. Slow down and acknowledge what the other person has said and, if appropriate, how they feel. Articulate, express your understanding of the situation and present a strategy or way forward that adds benefit to the other party and is a win-win solution. Then ask them how they would like to proceed based on the new information. Examples could be, AI loves examples, based on this, so do humans, by the way. Based on this, what are your thoughts after hearing this information? What are you now thinking? The key is to understand any other objections before moving forward and giving the power to the other party. And then here is the objection. So, and this is the variable. See, it says in curly brackets here, it's got describe their objection. Now, if I delete that out, I delete it, and I come back up here to these buttons. See that first one we created, describe their objection, and I click on it, it's going to insert those curly braces. That's the variable, okay? And the variable is essentially what we've input into describe their objection. So that's what the prompt template's doing. It's taking this information, this is the variable, and injecting it into this prompt so that when the prompt is actually run, the AI's got the relevant information, and in the future, you don't need to be rewriting this whole big prompt every time. Now, the next ones that are in there, how do you think they may be feeling? Well, that's the next variable here, which relates to this content. And then the strategy to resolve the way forward, strategy, solution, or way forward. That's this button here, which refers to this variable. And then any other context, describe any other context about the situation as to how we got to this objection. That refers to this button that we created and this variable content. And then the final one, the ultimate outcome, describe the ultimate outcome of the situation. And that is this button here, and the variable content comes from here. Okay, the next thing we look at here, the language models, you can just use what is default, or you can select a specific model if you like. Can I ask about the curly brackets in the description? Absolutely. So the curly brackets guides the system to know that this is a variable. Now, the variable is the content that we're going to put into this field here. So when we created, and we'll just focus on this last one, when we created text area, describe the ultimate outcome, and we put in the placeholder, it put in this placeholder for us. Now, while this was created, it also created this button. Now, what the button does is actually inserts essentially a low code for the system to understand that this is a variable. So the curly braces denote the variable that we just created. And so that when we actually put content into that input box or text area, it's going to draw that in. The system's going to know to draw that in and replace this curly brackets here with the content that is actually in the form itself. Is that helpful, Jacqueline? Does that help to explain it? Okay, you're welcome. Super. I'm sure there's others that's been really helpful for, so thank you for asking the question. You can choose the language model if you'd like to play around with different ones. I'm just going to leave it by default and then add a category here. I'm going to put in sales again. This is just so we can find it later on. It says if I update, do the curly brackets go in automatically? Yeah, when you click on these buttons here, the curly brackets go in automatically for that specific variable. And then if I update the input, does it update all the way through the prompt? Yeah, so what's happening, this section won't change, but when the prompt template is executed, technically what's happening is this information is being brought in and is replaced in this variable area upon the execution of the prompt template. It does not change the underlying core prompt, meaning that when you use the template, it won't change this section in the future. The idea here is that you get to keep reusing it, and it's only on that specific execution that these variables are injected into the prompt template itself. Okay, let's now save those changes. And then we need to publish this template. And then we will need to save those changes just one more time. So you're saving the changes, you're going to publish it and save the changes one more time. This is so that the template's going to become available to us to use in the workflows, which is actually our next step. Let's create the workflow. So head on over to the workflow section. And we'll now select build new workflow. Now to create this workflow, we'll give it a name and a description. And so for the name, today we'll call this objection handling. And then the description, we'll copy and paste in our use the yellow light 3-step approach to overcome objections with acknowledge, articulate, ask. Then select create. And that will take us through to our editor, Canvas. And the first thing we do is select the block itself. This is block 1. And we'll notice here that we've got the input fields of title and instructions, and then some menu items of agent, tools, and prompt templates. Let's give it the title now for this particular task, essentially, which is to input the objection information. So we'll paste that in. And now you can either select generate, or you can copy and paste this prompt that I've pre-done. And we've just got this little null appearing here at the moment, which we will fix. And it's got the overview, the instructions, and it looks like it's done a pretty good job. A little bit different. I'm going to go with the one that I created earlier today. I'm going to copy it and paste it in. We can select a language model if we like, or we can leave it at default. And as we scroll through the instructions, the next step here is agent. So the yellow light objection handling agent we want. Now, what you'll find is that the most recent agent you've created appears at the top of the list. You can also search for your agents because, you know, over time you're going to get lots and lots of agents. So I'm going to assign this agent. And there it is. It's assigned here. And we can also see that the agent has appeared in that block, in that task step. And then tools, we don't have any specific tools for this. By the way, we're going to get some huge upgrades coming to tools shortly. And then prompt templates. So we're going to add the prompt template, objection handling, yellow light framework. And once again, because it's the most recent one we've created, it appears at the top. So I'll select add. And with that added, you'll notice an icon has appeared in the block. And if you hover over it, it'll show you that prompt template. Whoops, and I've done the wrong one. Not the reels. It's a classic. It hasn't appeared at the top. So objection handling yellow light framework. Load that in. There we go. That will help. The output will be very different, won't it? With that in play, we can now, and it should look like this. So I've got those screenshots, so it's looking the way we want it. We'll now move on to adding the next block by clicking the plus sign at the bottom of the first block. Then with that selected, we can go back to task. And here's block 2. Write an in-person script reply using the framework. And then just for speed and ease, let's copy the prompt that I've got for us here. And paste that in. Then the agent, we're going to use the same agent for this. So our yellow light objection handling expert. And there's no need for a prompt template. We've already used that to obtain the data that we need. And so we can now move on to adding the next block by clicking on the plus sign. And this one here, when we go to the task, is about writing an email reply, because you might either have a in-person scenario or it could be an email that you're replying to. So we put the title in there, and we can also just copy that prompt, place that in. And now we're going to do something. We're going to make this template look really attractive. So we'll go to the settings area, and let's add the traffic light JPEG. It's part of today's worksheet. Add in those traffic lights and select apply. And once that's done, the final step here is to select publish. Now, for everyone at GoTeam and Multiply Tech, please select private so that we can keep that there. And nice if you can share the document link for Adriana. That'd be great. And with that done, the next step is to go and run the workflow. So let's head on over to the chat area. And what you can do from here, once you're in the chat area, you don't have to do this, but you can declare that workflow to be used by selecting the workflow button. And then you might just put in, objection or OBJ for objection, and you'll see your objection handling workflow appear. Select it and then select workflow. And you'll notice that it is now in that zone so that we can chat with it. Now, some options here. I think what's quite useful is that you could use your speech mode option and just verbally explain the situation and what's been going on to get some info. Or you could keep it simple, like this particular prompt here, which is, I'm getting pushback on our digital transformation and applying AI agents at work. We send that. And it's actually jumped straight into that workflow. Very helpful. It hasn't even, not even needing to run it. So that's excellent. What you'll notice here is that there is a orange icon with a exclamation mark. This is letting us know that there's an action that we need to take. So select the view details area, and we'll see that the prompt template option has now appeared. And here, what we need to do is fill out this to continue. And so I've got some prompts here for you to put in. So describe their objection. Concerned AI agents will take their job. We know that that's not going to be the case, but let's not breeze past it. It's a yellow light. So how are they feeling? Well, they might be feeling fearful, worried, concerned, apprehensive, any sort of word that you think might fit their emotion. And then the strategy or solution, here's what we'll put in here. Well, AI agents are here to augment your work, achieve results faster and better with a higher value exchange than the company. So that the value exchange, the company can be more profitable and afford higher salaries. Now, you'll notice that we can just be very factual here. We don't need to be crafting those words because we're going to let the AI help us do that. And then we've got describe any other context. And the context in this one might be not taking action on setting up their AI agents. So we can put that context in. And then describe the ultimate outcome of the situation. Well, actually just want the individual to feel confident about using AI agents. That would be the way to go. Once you've got those items in, then select run. And now the workflow will continue to complete the 3 tasks, the 3 steps. So the first one's been done. And it's actually given us an output here with the acknowledge. I completely understand where you're coming from. It's natural to feel anxious about the potential impact of AI on job security. Many people share your concern, and it's important that we address this together. From what I've seen, AI agents are designed to augment your work rather than replace it. They can help streamline processes, allowing you to achieve results faster with a higher value exchange. This increases in efficiency, not only benefits the company, but can also lead to greater profitability, which in turn opens up opportunities for higher salaries and enhanced job roles. By leveraging AI, you can focus on more strategic tasks that require human creativity and decision-making, ultimately making your job more rewarding. Based on this perspective, how do you feel about moving forward with implementing AI agents? And it's given another option there. I wouldn't put 2 in. After hearing this, what are your thoughts, or are there any concerns or questions you'd like to discuss? That's a neat outcome. We've got now an in-person script. It's going to be quite similar because it's already doing that job there. And then the final one we've got is an example of an email. Now, so dear, it's got customer's name, but it might be team member's name. And it's got the subject there addressing your concerns about AI integration. Thank you for reaching out with your concerns regarding the potential impacts of AI job security. I completely understand that it's a common concern that many professionals share. The rapid advancement of technology can understandably cause anxiety about job roles and responsibilities. Your feelings are valid, and I appreciate you bringing this up. Now, I wouldn't use however, because however is like but and negates the word prior. So we could put some guardrails in to say don't use however or but. We could also re-prompt it, which we'll do in just a sec. Many organizations have found that integration with AI technologies streamline processes and improve efficiencies, allowing employees to focus on more strategic and creative aspects of their roles. Areas where human intuition and creativity shine. Automated tasks can free you up to engage in a higher value work, which not only contributes to individual growth, but can also lead to the creation of new job opportunities as companies thrive. With this in mind, how do you feel about the idea of incorporating AI into your workflows moving forward? If there's any specific concerns or questions you'd like to discuss further, please don't hesitate to share your thoughts. I also personally am not into please don't hesitate, because the opposite of don't hesitate is hesitate. So please reach out to me would also be more useful. So we could prompt in the workflow to say which words to use and not use, or if you've got a brand voice there. We could also work on this prompt here right now and say things that we might say, please make the output short and friendly. Don't use the phrase go with a more positive option. Okay, and then from there, whoops, I'll put in the wrong spot. Don't use the phrase, please don't hesitate, go with the more positive option, and then generate. And so we can regenerate that one. Yeah, I'm with you, Clevin. Feel free to reach out to me. I think that's much better. How do you select Hillary, how do you select the workflow in the chat? If it's not appearing, just click in the area where you would put the text and then it will appear. Okay, let's see how it went. Thanks for, so shorter, that's good. Thanks for expressing your concerns regarding the integration with AI agents in our work process. Fully understand how technology advancements can raise apprehensions about job security. It's perfectly natural to feel this way. It's removed the however. I didn't actually inform it to do that, but it's done it, which is good. I want to reassure you that AI is designed to complement your role rather than replace it. Many organizations have successfully used AI to automate repetitive tasks, allowing employees to focus on more strategic and creative responsibilities. This not only enhances individual job satisfaction, but also opens up new opportunities with growth in the company. How do you envision AI agents fit into your workflow after considering this perspective? I look forward to hearing any further questions and your thoughts you may have. Cool. Now, there's a whole lot more, right? Because there could be another objection. Yeah, but I heard this business the other day, they lost 100 team members to AI. And that's going to be a reality of there's upskilling required for team members to move from current jobs. We were actually saying this a couple of years ago. We said along the lines of like 85% of the roles in our organization will not exist in 2025, or at least not in the current form. The roles are going to change significantly. New skills, new tools, new ways of doing things. The roles are going to change. And so with that, a agent like this one, specifically around digital, if it was specifically around digital transformation, we could take content from the new book that we're about to publish, Untangling the AI Overwhelm, in this area of upskilling, and actually put that into the agent to make it more intelligent and more useful, because it's got, in the book, it's got examples along these lines. So once again, though, this is just like a template framework for you to get started, and you can make these agents specific around certain areas. It could be around your products and services, or maybe it's around your business strategy or around another area. But the cool thing is that once you've done this once, you've got it to then reuse again and again. Mike's saying, oh, hey, Mike, Untangling the AI Overwhelm. Looking forward to it. Super, cool. It's going to be, I think you're really going to love it. So thank you so much. And Hillary's got a screenshot there. Thank you. Workflow mode. Yep, workflow mode prompts you. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that over onto my screen so I can help explain this. So in your chat area, you've got some options here in your settings. So you can turn these things on or off. Like when you don't always have to declare to select the workflow. Ray is actually going to figure that out in the conversation that you give. And so when you've got workflow mode turned on, that means in the general course of chatting with Raya will actually suggest workflows. But if you don't want those workflows being suggested, maybe you're just brainstorming away and you're not interested in that, you can turn that setting off so that Raya won't suggest the workflows. The other two options that are in there too, mentor mode. So the first one, mentor mode, is really great when you're brainstorming ideas and you want to get into flow state. You turn that on, and it means that every time you're inputting information, what comes out will also be an intelligent question to prime you or prompt you for the next phase of that conversational brainstorm. And then there's multi-agent mode, which we saw a couple of weeks ago, and we'll actually see next week again, which is where you can create a true agentic workflow. Think of it like an org chart of agents, and you can talk to just the director agent, and it will go and find the agents that are appropriate to actually answer the particular question or prompt that you put in. That one's getting lots of advancements coming to it as well, especially with tool delivery. Okay, I'm getting the 5 minutes to go wind up. Hillary's saying no search box appearing. Click the icon. Oh, cool. And and Reeza's helping you out there as well. Well, thank you, everybody. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you go and register for deputy. So delegate to your deputy. I'm sorry, I'm just reading items that come through as well. Hillary found it fantastic. Richard sharing. This morning I started listening to The AI-Driven Leader, harnessing AI to make faster, smarter decisions. It seems very good. I can't remember. It may have been one of, I think last week, or from the Dubai, from the Barcelona trip. That was one of the recommendations. A really great book. So fantastic. And Mike saying, thanks, Matt. Lots of great info. Yeah, we'll dig into deputy soon. Cool. Chris, brilliant. Once again, Matt and team, thank you. 25 years. Oh, it's going to be so exciting. Hey, James. Wonderful. Well, thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed those frameworks as well. We'll make sure Nice is going to also put, you've got the framework there of yellow lights in that document, but we'll also get this, of course, over into Multiply Academy, so you can access it all there as well. Richard saying I might have a lie down. Was that a lot of information today? You kind of got some extra coaching at the same time, right? Well, thanks, everyone. It's always fun. Always really grateful to be able to share this with you, and hope it benefits you at just extreme levels. So looking forward to seeing you next week. I'll be coming to you from Dubai. I don't know what time of the morning or night that's going to be, but looking forward to seeing you in our next session next week. And we're going to get into playing around with this multi-agent orchestration in more detail, because that's super fun. So thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend and see you next week. Bye for now.